Welcome to Paradise Loving Veggies. I'm Samantha James. Visual graphics have been around since as early as 800 BC, or the caveman era. Simple symbols on cave walls have been recognized as the first signs. The Greeks and Romans and Egyptians made signs out of stone or terracotta, again utilizing symbols to convey messages. Thomas Edison's invention of the light bulb helped fuel a new era in modern-day signs. Although elaborate and artistic signs are common day, our communities often rely on most of the simple signs to keep order and safety. Today I'm here at my friend's shop, Reese and Tiffany. They have a sign shop and we're going to learn a little bit more about what goes into a sign and how that affects our everyday lives.
Hi Reese, thank you so much for letting me come in today. You guys make my hats, my embroidered hats, which you know I love, and it kind of got me thinking about signs, and they're actually all around us, but a lot of times people don't stop to think what goes into a sign, and there's all different types. So there's wood signs that people just paint on, there's wood signs that are like burnt into and then painted, there's plastic signs, some of them are I think there's a certain process where it's the wording is kind of melded into the sign versus vinyl lettering. There's vinyl banners. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff, and you guys also do lettering on cars. So I thought it would be really interesting for viewers to kind of get to know a little bit about what you do and kind of how that affects the world around us and how it affects your community. So vinyl lettering, it's obviously a vinyl material, and then you have a machine that actually cuts out the letters.
Yes.
And then I in part of my life, I worked at a sign shop, and what we did, and I don't know if it's changed, is when the letters came out, they kind of went on like a white kind of applique, so that when you're putting them on, there's like a part to peel, and that's like the back part of the letter. So you peel that off, you put it on the surface, and then you kind of scrape on and peel off the outside, kind of like you do a sticker on your vehicle.
Sure, I have an example if you'd like to see one.
Yeah, I would love to.
So basically is what happens is this machine right here is
This
a
is
plotter.
a huge machine.
It's a plotter and a printer, so it will cut. And it's what happens is it cuts these letters out. This starts as a solid piece of black.
Okay.
And then it's what happens.
So the whole piece. So this is how it comes on the sheet with the dots here, right? And this is to pull it through, and the machine's actually cutting out the letters.
And then we weed it. It's a process called weeding, and we weed away all the black.
Do you use an X-Acto knife?
No, the machine cuts it.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, it's all done on computers, and that's how come they're so perfect.
Okay.
And you can get really intricate with this. So, like you were saying, after you cut it, you put a transfer tape.
Okay.
Because these are all individual letters now.
Okay.
So there would be.
And then the tape goes on top, and then when you were going to, we can use this as an example, so you're not peeling this off. So you would put this, like if my arm is the car or whatever, you would lay this against. Is that how you do? No, the other way.
Let me show you. You
The other
take
way.
this, you peel this off.
Oh.
This is all sticky.
Okay.
And when you stick it, I'm going to do it.
So this is actually the outside material here.
Yes, that's just a backing
So that
paper.
clear backing that you're peeling off, that would actually be on top of this this lettering.
Yes, so it sticks to the transfer tape.
Okay.
And then you put your transfer tape, and then you peel your transfer tape off, and it leaves your and it leaves all your lettering on your vehicle or window, business windows.
Tell me a little bit about weathering with the vinyl.
This is amazing stuff. We do boats, and it can last to 10 to 15 years.
And like the fish and game numbers for boats?
Yep, we do all that stuff. All the DOT numbers for vehicles. All the truckers, they have to have DOT, GVWs, all the numbers.
I've seen you do the local fire department and work for the sheriff's office. And is that vinyl lettering as well?
It is. There's so many different vinyls today that it will spin your head. Mostly we use is 3M material, and it is.
Can I pick this up?
Sure. This is a banner. This is banner material. This is what we.
Let's
this is what we print.
so we can show viewers. So Oh wow, this is really heavy, and it has on the back side of it.
This is banners.
This is banner material, so it has like a little bit of a ripple, and I'm guessing that's so that in the wind it doesn't tear, right?
It's just a strong material that you can hang up.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
it's just a super duper good material.
And it's got a nice thickness to it.
We can make any size that you want. We have 54-inch material.
Do they come in different thicknesses as
Yes.
well as far as the
Yes,
block?
14 ounce, 10 ounce, and 18 ounce material is how they measure.
Is there a difference when you're working with the different banner materials as far as applying the lettering? Like, is it more difficult
No.
for a thicker? It doesn't matter.
It's a different process.
Oh.
This right here is on a roll tube,
Okay.
and this right here will run through this machine.
Oh,
Here,
it runs through
and
this, the back of this.
And it prints it.
Oh, just like it would here. You just roll it through, and it's already done.
And it prints it. It just prints it. And,
wow.
and then we cut it out.
How big? It looks like it can fit like what?
64
inches.
material that's the
which
material.
Is
5 foot.
5 foot. Okay. Well, that's a lot.
Yeah. Yep. And I don't have any 5 foot material.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, so that's a lot. So that really gives you an opportunity to be able to accommodate really a large banner size.
Yes.
Is there a difference to when you print like a certain length? Can you print any length on it?
You can print 100 yards.
And then I have to ask, because I'm always about logistics, so when it's coming out of, because it comes out this side here, you've got some great folks that work for you. Are they on either end, like rolling it up?
No, it doesn't go that fast. We do roll it. If we have like a 20-foot banner, then we'll just roll it, and it goes into this little tray down there.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, we roll it up. But when I first started, I had it over the table, and I was, it was pretty funny. But yeah, you can just roll it up. It's not that big of a deal.
All right. Tell me about the two types of lettering on vehicles. There's vinyl lettering or painting. Is that correct?
Painting is on its way out. It's just kind of like neon.
Okay.
People just don't do it anymore.
Okay. So you do vinyl lettering, and it would be similar to this sheet here, where you're doing an applique to the vehicle.
Sure.
And that lasts through car washes, through
But,
waxing.
well, we try not to get these through car washes because they do have edges and they will grab. Now
so
the
a
other,
hand wash?
that is the best. Now
Okay.
the other option that people can do is if they really want to, they have a lawn mowing business or something, and they want to put, we do vehicle wraps. I only do partial wraps.
What's the difference between them? I'm so confused.
It is a full sheet of vinyl, and it actually is like,
Oh.
it's actually like it's just, sucked on the vehicle.
So on a whole, let's say we'll take a door jamb for instance, instead of just having the lettering, it would actually
cover
take
the whole
that
thing.
whole thing. And that actually is something that's like really longevity as far as if you want to go through car washes.
7 years. I always try to stay out of the car washes.
Okay.
Just in general.
I'm just asking because
yeah.
a lot of people like that quick. I'm gonna just run
Sure.
through. Maybe their neighborhood.
I don't recommend a car wash with
Okay.
these. I don't.
Okay.
It's just I wouldn't
Alright.
do it. But vehicle wraps are very popular. Partial wraps, if you've seen
And what's the as far as cost goes for, let's say, someone who's going into business, having a vehicle wrap versus, or a partial vehicle wrap, which you do,
Sure.
versus like vinyl lettering? Is there a big cost
There
difference?
is. You're covering so much more, area.
Okay.
So there's quite a, substantial cost.
And how does the color work? So if my car is black and I want to have a red wrap on it, is that a thing?
Well, we have. Well, that would be a color change. So
Okay.
we're looking, if you want to color change your vehicle, then you could get there's a million different colors, and you can do black, yellow,
So you
red,
can't
blue.
do a wrap in any color.
Yes.
Regardless of what the vehicle color is.
Sure. Or you can you can print it with your logo on it, with the grass, for a picture, or any of those type of things. But one thing that people do is they want to have too much stuff, and we try to just be like, no, it needs to be very simple.
Simple, yeah.
Simple and readable at a distance,
And a speed.
And a
too.
speed,
Yeah.
you have
Yeah.
3 seconds to read it. You can't say no.
Right.
So very simple graphics is always your best option. on vehicles. You know, mag material you stick your.
And would you say simple is best for regular logos and stuff
Yeah, oh,
too?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Brian has a theory if he makes it really small, and if you can't, if it don't work really small, it doesn't work, because you're always going to want to use your logo on a business card, or you know, and then it gets really small. So yeah, a very simple logo is always the best.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, Nike swoosh.
Right. And everyone knows what the swoosh
is. It is.
There's some different forms of medium with t-shirts. So talk to me a little bit about that, and then the longevity and versus the cost.
As far as the medium?
As far as so there's embroidery for t-shirts.
Okay.
There's a form of vinyl.
Sure.
But it's like screen printing. But there's some where it's actually.
Yes. It's called a heat transfer.
Heat transfer.
Sure.
But then isn't there one that's also kind of like, because we used to get letters like in Little League, where we kind of buy the pre-cut letters and then you iron them on, and that's not screen printing by any means.
No, that's called a heat transfer.
That is the heat transfer.
Yes.
And then what's the difference? What is actually screen printing is when your machine has the different cuts of the different colors and you're putting on the paint, and it's like heat stamping?
It's it actually runs through a screen printing.
Okay.
And it is one of the oldest forms of printing that there is. They've been doing that forever. I mean, screen printing is super duper old. It's super duper basic, but it's very complicated.
And is that how you started out with your buddy doing screen printing?
Yep. And we used to hand cut our stencils with an X-Acto knife. You know, you'd have to cut everything out
and so each stencil is the different color palette, correct?
Yes, each screen is a different color.
So if you were doing, let's say, a 4th of July picture, and it had, the shirt's white, let's say, but you're doing red and blue, you could have it simple, and it would just potentially be 2 different, cut plates or stencils.
Sure.
And then you do the color, and then
it all runs through and I can take you back and show you how the process works. That is how I like to think of it, is a coloring book.
Oh, okay.
So if you look at a coloring book and it's got all the black lines, and you go in and you fill in your coloring book with your colors. So for example, you have a bear and you just color it in, and that's really how a screen print works. In the basic form it's a coloring book. You have a black plate, a black outline, and it depends on what color shirts. I mean, it can get complicated, but to make it simple,
of course.
Is literally, and then you put your colors down, and your black one is your last one, and you got your picture.
And I'm just guessing that because I've sewn a little bit in my life, and I've done some material paint, crafty stuff. I'm guessing that actual process would cause the graphic on the shirt to last longer than if someone was to do the, kind of home vinyl lettering where they do the heat transfer, right?
Yes, screen printing, if it's done properly, it will outlast your shirt.
So, a lot of times on tags, when you get a t-shirt, it says to put it inside out in the wash. So, talk to me a minute about that, what your feeling is on that.
Screen printing, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. That would be more for a vinyl heat transfer.
Yes, and we do a lot of heat transfers here.
Okay.
They're getting very, very good. So, if you're thinking about the iron-on that you used to do with, Mom in high school 20 years ago, they're way, way, way different, and they're starting to become a really good quality product.
Where they last, like for a Little League team or whatever, they last through the washes.
Yeah, even the vinyl that we use on like numbers, that stuff is really, really good. It's, it'll last a long time.
So if a person had, let's say, an organization and they were thinking about getting t-shirts made, what would you recommend as far as being the most cost effective? Is there, do most print shops kind of have like a minimum, or is there one way versus the other, that if you only needed 20 or 30 for a team, what would you recommend? What's your kind of 2 cents on?
So for teams, I would recommend the hot press for numbers.
The heat transfer.
Yes, because you can't make a screen for every number.
Oh, I see.
So you would be,
so you got 02, 12, 16, whatever everyone's favorite number.
Yeah, so then it would be nearly impossible. They do make machines that do that, but...
And then would you cut out those from this machine?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep. We have the material over there, and we just.
So this machine is actually multifaceted.
Oh yeah,
it will cut multiple types of
Oh
material.
yeah. Yep.
Oh, that's really neat.
Yeah, it's a super nice printer cutter. That's what it's.
A printer cutter.
Yeah, it will print and cut your media.
If someone was curious and they wanted to look up, they would just type into Google or whatever.
And they have littler ones.
Oh, okay.
You know, so they have little 30 inches or 24 inches.
Okay. Well, 5 feet really covers it all. Now, are you able to do, like, if you were doing, let's say, team shirts, are you able to cut, like, 02, 12, 36, 44, like, you're able to kind of piece and then cut them out, and then you would transfer them to a t-shirt?
Yep. One of our artists will create it, and then we put cut paths and stuff on there, and it comes over here and out it goes. Cuts it, you weed it, take it out front, and stamp it.
Nice. So I know also I've seen for different businesses around, there's a gal who does a cleaning business, and I see her signs around that I'm sure you do, because you do most of the local work here.
Right.
And they're on like a
Corex. Corrugated plastic.
Corrugated plastic.
Yeah.
Okay, and so are you using a vinyl letter on there?
We do several different things here.
Okay.
So if we were doing hundreds of them for political signs, then they will be screen printed.
Okay.
Because it's
Which would screen print, again, same process as the t-shirt with the multiple layers?
Well, you can do multiple layers. I only usually, like to do one color.
Well, you said political signs, which I was trying not to go on a political sign thing.
Well, any kind of sign, yard signs.
If you have multiple colors, is it the same process, or is it a layer process?
I would use this machine right here, and actually I have some samples to show you that we just made some yard signs.
Oh, great. Okay.
And we can put them on the.
I would love to see them. Yeah. Absolutely. So, what's your thought if someone's going into business and they've got going into business is so hard. There's so many expenses. You've got to get licensed. You've got to get your business card. Insurance. You've got to have your place to do your business. There's so many things. If someone wanted to get a sign made, and they were trying to go on a spendthrift, what would you recommend to them as a good option?
Well, it depends on what they're trying to do. So, my feelings about signage and vehicle graphics, it's an investment. It's not artwork. We're not selling artwork, or sign shops aren't. It's not a.
Right.
It's actually something that's going to get you business. So my feeling is you need to spend money on your advertisement, and in that way it's just.
But I mean, could a person start with, say, a banner?
Sure.
And then have a banner hung up, and then in a month or two, kind of move that to more of a full. Like, can you do like kind of graduation signs as far as like cost goes?
Yep, we do that all the time.
Okay. Oh, you do?
Yep.
That's really common.
All the time.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. People come in, they want banners. The local, auto mechanic down here coming soon. Opening soon. We're back to open. That's. And then they'll get a permanent sign later, and then they'll get the vehicle graphics, and they'll get hats, and then they'll get shirts.
Do people come into you and ask you and say, hey, this is kind of my pondry, and this is my budget, and then do you help them kind of figure out the solution for what they're looking for based on that?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, that helps a lot. That's one of the best things if somebody says, hey, I got $100, what can you do for me?
Right.
We can make you a banner, we can, and then logo design is something that's super duper important, and it's very difficult to do artwork. Artwork is the major thing in this business is creating artwork.
Let's say someone bought their grandfather's old shop, and they had some maybe old flyers or old something. Can you like redigitize?
Sure.
And kind of create that logo based on the original?
Yeah, absolutely.
I know today that you actually are working on a new engraver you got, so you'll be able to do trophies and plaques and stuff. So there's a learning curve with that.
Yes.
So would you say that that's one of the most challenging machines you've got, or do they all kind of have a similar learning curve?
We run basically on Adobe Illustrator is our program, and we have Photoshop and all the other ones.
So if someone's coming in and they say, I have a graphic ready logo, I'm good to go, I'm 100%, here it is in a PNG or JPEG or Photoshop, whatever. you still have to create a new file for the specific computer.
Actually, we love vectors. Somebody has a vector file.
File is scalable, so if you have it this big and you want it this big,
Yes.
you're not going to lose any of the clarity
there's
of it.
no distortion, there's no pixels. Now, Photoshop is done with pixels, little tiny
and
squares.
pixels are the little tiny squares.
Yes,
Okay.
that make up a thing. So somebody will come in with a little picture this big. Oh, I've got this great picture, and I want it 64
but it's in
inches.
pixels, and then when you blow them up, those little squares all get destroyed.
Blocky. If you ever seen a blocky, it's
right.
because it gets big and you start to see the blocks.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
a
Vector
vector
is mathematical.
It's true to its form, no matter what size.
Yes, you can put it on the side of the building. So vector is for illustration purposes.
Oh, okay.
Photoshop is for photos. So we don't like to design in Photoshop.
Oh, I see.
Because it's not a vector program.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So we always design in Illustrator.
Okay, okay. So, and when you say design, you're talking a logo where there's like line drawings, like your the station signs. That's a vector creation.
Yes.
When you guys did my Paradise Love and Veggies hats, that's in a vector creation, so that it can expand to do a hat size, or if I wanted it on the back of a sweatshirt or whatever, it's just going to be expanded in size.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. To ask you, so you work with your wife, Tiffany.
Yes.
And I generally deal with Tiffany when I order my hats. How is it working? Do you have any advice for viewers out there? If you're going to start a business with your spouse, do you have any advice or suggestions on how to have a good working relationship at the workplace?
I wouldn't know what to do without her here. I couldn't run this place without her, to be honest with you. So we each do our own thing. She does, the books and the embroidery and ordering, and and I do a lot of the production and all the screen printing.
So what I'm hearing you say is identify what your actual job duties are, and respect each other's titles and job ability, and just kind of run with it. And just because you're coming to the office together and leaving together doesn't mean that you're not going to have your own kind of separate space during the day.
Yes, she does what she does.
So don't micromanage each other. If you want to go into business with yourself.
Don't do that. She
Good,
does the books and takes care of everything, and I don't ask questions.
Nice. Thank you so much, Reese, for letting me come in and talk to you about signs. I learned a whole lot, and I hope that you viewers learned some stuff. And if you're going to go into business and you're looking for a sign, kind of the basics is make it simple and make it readable from far away, and don't feel that you have to spend all your money in the beginning getting a big glamorous side, because you can start with a banner and kind of work your way up.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks for coming in. I really appreciate it. It was fun.
Thank you so much for your information.
Oh yeah, no problem.
And thanks for making my hats I love so much.
Cruising down the road.